When the Surface Duo was announced back in 2019, along with the Surface Neo, everyone was stunned by Microsoft's ambition to penetrate the foldable market. But as we all know, the Neo didn't make it into production, only leaving the Duo being released to the public. The device is just as breathtaking to look at in real life as it was shown at launch. The thinness, the material used on the body, the nicely weighted hinges and the superb fit and finish made this device feel extremely premium. And despite its width, it's surprisingly pocketable. The only criticism I have is that the fingerprint reader and the power button are at two separate places, so sometimes you'd mistake one for the other, but you'll quickly get used to it. By simply joining two separate screens together by hinges, Microsoft has created a versatile foldable like no other. It could be propped up in many forms without ever worrying about damaging it. Microsoft has overhauled the Android interface not just to make it look like Windows 11, but to also make everything work with its double display as consistently as possible. It's not as sophisticated as a typical foldable where you could have up to 4 apps displayed at the same time. In fact, you could only have 2 apps snapped to either screen or just one app spanned across both. However, the overall experience is a lot less intimidating and a lot more intuitive to use as you could rearrange apps easily. It's an absolute productivity powerhouse, like a mini laptop that fits in your pocket. So why am I so negative about this? The problem lies on the experience when you don't need to be so productive. Without the cover screen on the front, you always have to open the phone up or check and do everything. So imagine doing this every time you need to make or answer a phone call. Of course, you could keep the phone unfolded if you don't mind exposing both screens. However, the experience is still very janky, as the device often either confuses which screen you're working on or gets the orientation wrong. It gets annoying over time. Another annoying thing about this form factor is when you prop it up like this. If you have a selfie camera face down, it would dim the display because it's covered up, so you have to prop it up the other way. Speaking of cameras, there's only one, and it's the selfie camera. It's only good enough for a Zoom meeting. The same goes for the single firing speakers, which is a shame because the display, on the other hand, is superb. With all things considered, I still love this device. It really let me indulge in my work better than other foldables. Although it's quite frustrating at times getting the right orientation. However, even if all bugs have been fixed, this form factor is only best used as an Android tablet or a secondary device. If Microsoft marketed this device this way, people would focus more on its strength as a productivity powerhouse instead of its phone functionalities, like how difficult it is to make phone calls or to take pictures. But what do you think? Let me know at the comments.